guys, Nikki here. I'm back today with another tarot card flip through for you guys. Now, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I've been really restraining myself on buying new sets of cards because I have so many, I'm running out of space, and I don't just buy cards to buy them. I actually really love all of my decks and I try to use them all as much as possible. And when you get a large amount, that starts to get really hard. So I've been kind of just looking for cards that feel really special or pique my interest or just kind of hit me like right in the feels when I'm looking at them. So I found this deck recently. It's called the Weird World Tarot, right? Maybe you guys have heard of it. I hadn't. And I just really liked a couple of the cards they showed, but because that can be deceiving, I went and looked at all the rest of them. And the more I looked at them, the more I was like, yes, I really like this deck. And so I decided to purchase it. So I'm going to go and do a flip through for you guys today with it, but I would like to read you this little bit on the back of the box, right? Because this wasn't something I had access to when I purchased it. And I thought it was just a really interesting part of the story of kind of how the cards got created and came to be. So the author says, through my office window, I watch the life of a big city. I see houses, cars, and people running in a hurry somewhere or busy with everyday activities. I close my eyes, and in my thoughts, I drift away from everyday life to magical lands, Hogwarts, Narnia, and Middle-earth. This wonderful magical world is different, and life there is much more exciting. I open my eyes and see my computer and the same street outside the window. What a pity that I cannot get into that fantasy world. I wish I could see its beauty and experience exciting adventures. But what about creating a fantasy world of my own? This is how the idea of the Weird World Tarot cards was born. If that's not a tongue twister to say the name of this deck, I don't know what is. But I wanted to read you guys that message because I thought it was just really heartfelt. And I think it's something that we can all really relate to, right? Like just the mundaneness and drudgery of kind of everyday life. And then versus the duality of all these like really magical, fantastical worlds that are like out there that people have created through movies or books or, you know, things like that. And so I think if you're spiritual in any aspect, you kind of know how it is to sit between that duality. So I really liked what they said and I wanted to share it. I'll go through the flip through in just a moment. These are kind of the card backs, right? A little bit interesting and different. I liked all the little kind of crazy colors on there, but that's the back. And then the cards themselves are kind of interesting. The thing that I like is they are still sort of comparable, or you can kind of attach them to the images in the original Rider-Waite. But these are not only more kind of magical, mystical, they're also like kind of just modified to a little bit, right? And kind of a cool, I think more modern, updated way just a little bit as well, while also keeping that fantasy element present. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the ones that I kind of thought were interesting here before we go the flip through. Like the Page of Cups, right? Like I like this guy. Like normally in the other thing, like you don't get this expression on his face. He genuinely seems like, wow, what is happening right now, right? And it's a little more realistic of how you would react if that fish came out of his cup like that, right? This one I thought was really cool. The Queen of Wands is a particular favorite card of mine. It normally has a black cat on it, but look at this cat, right? She's got like a whole panther situation happening, which I thought was really fun. Hanged Man doing a little bit of acrobatics here, right? Like see the rings? I thought that was an interesting take on it. And then this one, I hate to leave you on a bad note, but I feel like this card too. So 10 of Swords, we all know how that one is, right? But man, like you can feel this card when you're looking at it. And I think that's why I really liked the imagery I saw on this deck too. I will say it's not like a whole gruesome deck or anything. If you're worried about that last card, it's really not. It is a little bit darker. It is a little bit more magical. But it also, it's got kind of a good like reality base to it also too. I feel like there's a lot of emotions that you can feel when you look at the cards, right? As opposed to some other decks, you're like, oh, the picture is just the picture, right? Like when I look at these cards, I actually like feel something. Like I can feel the emotions of the card, which is kind of a cool thing to be able to do and incorporate when you're doing a reading. So I don't have any more information or anything to share with you guys on these right now. So I'm going to just jump to the flip through and let's look at each one by one so you can decide if maybe this is the deck for you.